Have you ever had a conversation with someone saying, I don't read all the portion of the Bible. Some in the Old Testament are very boring and full of rules and regulation and commandments that don't make any sense to me? If you heard this sentence, welcome to Parashat Ki Tetze. Now, we are still in the book of Deuteronomy, and this parasha is the parasha with the majority of commandments ever found in any other parashat portion. Now, it's so interesting, more than 70, you heard correctly, 70 rules and commandments only in this portion this week. Now, why Ki Tetze? Because it starts with when you go out. Let's read it from Deuteronomy chapter 21, from verse 10. When you go out to war against your enemies, and the Lord your God delivers them into your hand, and you take them captive, and you see among the captives a beautiful woman and desire her, and they will take her as your wife, then you shall bring her home to your house, and then continues and continues and continues. So it's something that today is very complicated to understand. But why? Why do we think it's important today to read this portion? Now, it's all about social life. It's all about the people of Israel entering into the promised land and starting a brand new society. The society that is supposed to impact the entire world. That is the calling of Israel. And as Moses in the book of Deuteronomy, Devarim, is repeating the rules, the regulations, the customs, and the indication that God gave to him to pass it on to the generation and to the following generation, the generation of Joshua entering into the promised land. Here, Moses is reminding his people. Remember is a verb that is used over and over and over again in the book of Devarim, in the book of Deuteronomy. So it's so important that we read this portion. But there is this verse that has brought many people to confusion. Like, first of all, in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 23, verse 8, it says, do not hate the Egyptians that gave you refuge during these 400 past years. Despite them being enslaving you, do not hate them. But then what does he say about the Amalekites? About the Amalekites says, you should kill them all. So there's a little bit of contradiction here for many. Now, at this very moment in time, Israel has two different enemies. The Egyptians that they just left, and the Amalekites that they are in the promised land. Now, why this difference? Why is in the Bible, is in the verse. Actually, in Deuteronomy 25, 17 to 19, that's the portion, he actually says that the Amalekite attacked you when you were weary, when you were worn out, and you were lagging behind. So why the Amalekites were attacking such a people, like a people of Israel, that they were weak? They weren't moving war against them, according to the scripture. So the point here is to protect the weary, the worn out, to protect the weak. That's exactly the main point of this parasha. Is like the new society, Israel, that I want you to create. It's not a society that take advantage of those people that are weak, they are feeble, they are unprotected. It's easy to attack them. But as the Amalekites did with you and they did wrongly, I want you to look after people when they are weak, when they are worn out. I want a society, I want the people, my people, says God, that looks after the others. And that is for us today. It's absolutely for us today that we look after the people that are in need. Don't look about which political party they are from. Don't look at which kind of society they stand, the rank. You need to love them as they are. And that's what Yeshua said. With many parables as well, the Samaritan, the Good Samaritan parable, and many other parables of Yeshua in the Brit Hadashah, in the New Testament. But today, there are so many rules, I told you. There are more than 70. I could have picked anything up. But I think this is the most important for me to express today in this parashat. Ki Tetze is exactly that. look after the needy, look after the poor, the orphans, the widows, look after the people that are in need today, and don't attack them. Protect the weak.